Now we come to the final issue related to family policy. It is about inheritance. That is, who is going to inherit what in what portion. There are usually two types of inheritance issues. One is intestate and another is testate. Intestate is the situation when a person dies without a valid will. Testate is a situation where a person dies with a valid will or testament. Different countries and different cultures have different ideas about inheritance, and they are all part of the family policy. Why? Because family has priority in terms of inheritance. It has been this case since hundreds of years, and still most of the countries, almost all of the countries, follow this model. So family inherits, but which part of the family? For most of the times, since ancient times, it was a religious matter, and inheritance was decided on the basis of religion, as is still in the case of Pakistan. From ancient times, patrilineal inheritance was given more importance than matrilineal inheritance. So what is patrilineal inheritance? Patrilineal inheritance means that only the male portion of the family inherits and the female are not given anything. Matrilineal inheritance is exactly the opposite, that is, the female portion inherits and the male do not get anything. One of the extreme cases of inheritance is primogeniture, which means that everything, all titles, all property goes to the firstborn. Usually it's the male primogeniture, so first male child gets everything. It was in many cultures the rule. Until 1925, Britain also followed this rule, and the firstborn got all the property and titles. Other siblings, younger sons, daughters, would have to look up to their elder brother to give them something. If he didn't, he wasn't supposed to do it. Jewish religious law also gave importance to patrilineal inheritance. Daughters only inherit if there are no sons. Later, another rule was added that if the daughters are inheriting the land or the property, they will marry within the tribe, so the property doesn't go to another tribe. Another change which came in the Jewish law was that firstborn had double the inheritance than the others. So it was not like the primogeniture that everything goes to the firstborn, but it was a slight change in which the firstborn got double the inheritance. Christianity didn't have clear inheritance laws, so Jewish law continued to be followed. Islam then changed the law of inheritance. It added many new inheritors or heirs, such as spouses and parents. It gave double the share of inheritance to sons as compared to daughters. Illegitimate children and adopted children didn't get anything. There were also some specific rules for those who are making a will. So one cannot bequeath to a heir, or one cannot bequeath more than 1/3 of his or her inheritance. Most of the countries now give equal share to all the children. Spouses' rights, which was first recognized by Islam, are now recognized elsewhere too. In the US, the rights of the spouse are protected. There are two types of states in the US: the community property states and the common law states. In the community property states, whatever is earned during the marriage is divided equally between the two. So the surviving spouse gets half of the share, and then the rest is divided between children. In common law states, this right is not there, but the spouse can still claim 1/3 or even half of the property if possible. In UK also favors the surviving spouse who inherits all personal property of the person who has died, the first £250,000 of the estate and the remaining half of the estate.